about Kansas City. Now, sports on a Sunday morning on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
What's going on? Seafull Sports Studio. Tom Ackerman with you. Downtown St. Louis is gray and gloomy and cold, and it's a good day to pour a hot cup of coffee and hang out. What did Ron Jacoby used to say when he hosted this show? It's like a warm pair of slippers. Sports on a Sunday morning. You know, so whether you're on your way to church or coming back, or you're home and you got a little fire in the fireplace and hanging out with the family, this is the place to be. If you're getting ready for some football or whatever you're doing on this Sunday. I love January Sundays. I just got a whole new load of firewood. My man Aaron Roy dropped off some firewood, and I'm ready for the long haul. You know, January, February months of watching football and college hoops on Saturday and Sunday. It's a good time to just relax and enjoy. And that's what we'll do later today with a couple of football games. Then there's plenty to talk about here on Sports on a Sunday morning, because at the end of the show, we'll talk some baseball. John Mozeliak is with us at 11:30. He is back on the show. We gave him last Sunday off because Saturday was a huge day for him at the warm-up. So I decided not even to reach out. I think we heard enough of John Mozeliak on Saturday. He talked to the media. He talked to the fans. He did Q&As. He got peppered with questions. He signed autographs. I actually saw him just a few days ago and chatted with him a little bit, and he's ready to go for this Sunday. So we'll talk to him about what the Cardinals look like, and we'll hear how you can actually go to spring training. There are still some vacation packages that the Cardinals are offering to get down there. And this is the first full spring training for me since 2019. I mean, in 2020, we were cut short due to COVID. We had to leave after the first, I left the second week. I stayed for an extra week of March because we were covering the story of the team and they were still hanging around what they were going to do. But spring training was over first week of March, basically. Then in 21, the COVID restrictions were so much that travel was really restricted for us from a business standpoint. So I did not go in 21. 22, we have a lockout. And I remember as soon as they agreed to the CBA and hit the green light, I booked a flight and a hotel and answered questions later. And my bosses here at KMOX were very kind to work out a deal to get me down to spring training for 10 days. We extended that a little bit because Yachty showed up. That was an eventful spring training, but not a full spring training. Because of the lockout, it kind of just threw all of our schedules and everything else into disarray. So this is great. I mean, to get down to spring training and to have Ollie Marmol be able to talk to his players in the offseason. John Mozeliak can talk to the players. We can actually have a winter warm-up. We can actually have a caravan. We actually have baseball again going into a season. That's pretty cool. So I would, if I were you, take a look at your calendar and your budget. You know, it's not cheap by any means to go down to spring training, but there are some value packages available where you can get down there and see some games and really take in Jupiter, Florida. And it's not just Jupiter, but the surrounding area. You can get to the ballpark pretty quickly from West Palm Beach, from anywhere in Palm Beach County, even to the north where the Mets are, Port St. Lucie. I know there are some places kind of around that area if you want to make your way south. So you can do it if you take a look around. The thing is, a lot of people on the Gulf side have limited ability because of the hurricane. So a lot of people have moved their vacation destination to our side on the Atlantic side. So it's going to be busy, but fun. And so if you can get down there and find yourself a flight and get down, join us for Cardinal baseball. I'll be down there in the month of March. Really looking forward to it. John Mozeliak at 11:30, and we'll talk about spring training plans and everything spring training, everything you want to know on the way. I may even throw down some restaurant tips for you all here late in the 11 o'clock hour. But until then, we'll talk the NFL now. We got Blues Breakdown. We have pickleball coming to St. Louis. We have college basketball to discuss. A lot to get into. Travis Ford will be with us at 10:30. Let's start with this. Patrick Mahomes is good at football, even on one ankle. Yesterday, it was very clear, and by the way, he's to undergo an MRI today on his right ankle. The first to report that I saw was Adam Schefter of ESPN. Hurt his ankle in the first half, came back, led the Chiefs past the Jaguars 27-20 yesterday. This was the touchdown pass.
Officially at the 6-yard line, 10th play of the drive, 20-17 Chiefs, 7:22 to go in the game. Mahomes, again, that right ankle is the one that's bothering him. That's in front of the left, feet staggered. McKinnon sprints in motion to the near flat. Mahomes now steps up in the pocket, throws late, wide open, back of the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. Marquez Valdez-Scantling on a 6-yard touchdown.
That's Mitch Holtis with the call on KMOX. The Chiefs take the lead, and they hold on by a final of 27-20. Not easy against a very good Jacksonville team that I think is going to be around for a long time. Their coach, Doug Peterson, this is a perfect fit. He is an offensive innovator. He has a great quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. And he darn near beat the Chiefs yesterday, not able to get it done. Mahomes, 195 passing, 2 touchdowns, and a bum ankle. And the Jaguars lose to the Chiefs, who go to their 5th straight AFC title game. 5 straight AFC championship games for the Chiefs. Now, we don't know where the game is going to be. It's either going to be in Kansas City or it's going to be in Atlanta. That depends on today's game between the Bills and the Bengals. Buffalo, a 5.5-point favorite, 2:00 kickoff today. If the Bills win it, that game's going to Atlanta because the Bills have played one less game than the Chiefs have. And with fewer games, that means that it would be an unfair balance. Of course, the reason for that is the cancellation of the game against the Bengals, in which Damar Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest on the field. So they wiped that game out, and that was the arrangement. So if it goes Chiefs-Bills, it goes to Atlanta. If it's Chiefs-Bengals, it goes to Arrowhead. That game, again, 2:00 today, Bills-Bengals. I've got the Bills in that one. I got the Bills going to the Super Bowl. I've got the Bills winning the Super Bowl. But anyway, let's go to the NFC. The question was, can Jalen Hurts play? There was a lot of questions and consternation, and Philly fans just in general are, they're pessimistic about everything. And they were talking about it on talk radio, and Jalen Hurts, I don't know, his shoulder. I mean, you saw him in the last game. I'm not sure everything's okay. He says, how about this?
Gainwell a motion out of the backfield on 3rd and 5. 3 receivers right, 2 wide to the left. Empty backfield from the shotgun. Hurts looking right all the way, throws for Goddard. One-handed catch at the 10. Up the right sideline at the 5 and powers his way into the end zone for the touchdown. He went through Julian Love at the goal line, and the Eagles take a 6-0 lead on the 16-yard pass from Hurts to Goddard.
That's Kevin Kugler with the call on Westwood One and KMOX. The Eagles get the ball back, and
2 receivers right of the line. Sanders to the left of Hurts, who's in the shotgun. Hurts will get the snap, swing it right side, caught by Smith at the 5, and Smith up the right sideline, diving into the end zone for the touchdown. Devontae Smith gives the Eagles a 13-0 lead.
They took the lead and then advanced with a 21-0 lead, and they were not finished.
Hurts awaiting the shotgun snap, gets it, bobbles it, picks it up, now runs to the left side. Hurts on a diagonal to the end zone. Touchdown, Jalen Hurts.
You get the picture. Jalen Hurts erased all doubt. His right shoulder, the state of his right shoulder is just fine, as he throws 2 touchdown passes, runs for a score, a dominant first half. Yes, that was all in the first half. The Eagles led it 28-0. They won it 38-7 over the New York Football Giants. Hurts, 16 of 24 for 154. It's all he needed. Showed he was fine when he aired out a pass on the second play of the game. He hit Devontae Smith in stride for a 40-yard reception, and the route was on. 38-7 Eagles over Giants. Winner, Eagles, now awaiting the 49ers and the Cowboys. This is going to be interesting. Tonight, 5:30, Cowboys coming off a great win at Minnesota. This 49ers team is very good defensively. They have a red-hot quarterback in Brock Purdy, who was notoriously or famously the last pick in the NFL draft. I know I've heard Mike Greenberg of ESPN, who I really like, says, it's the greatest story in the history of NFL quarterbacks or whatever. I'm like, you ever heard of Kurt Warner, who was stocking grocery shelves while the NFL was happening and then got a call? Anyway, this is a great story. Christian McCaffrey's the player, though, for the 49ers. He's the guy. If he has a great game, 49ers win. If the Cowboys find a way to slow him down and they do what they do on offense, they win. I think Cowboys are going to win this game. I think they're going to go in there and win this game at San Francisco, and then they're going to play the Eagles And maybe I should save this for next week, but I've already kind of said it earlier this morning. I think it's going to be Bills-Cowboys in the Super Bowl. I think the Cowboys are going to stun everybody here in the next couple of weeks and win these next two games. There's something about that team, and I'm not supposed to like them because I grew up a Cardinals fan, and I hated them. But there's something about them this year that makes me believe that they can get there. So we'll see. And it might be their athleticism on defense. They have a very good pass rush. Prescott looks like he's in the zone. He has a lot of different options. Pollard as a running back has really displaced Zeke, and he has multiple options to throw to. They play a good pace of game. I just like the way the Cowboys play, and I see what I see. So, I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think they beat the 49ers today, and I think they win next week too. I think the Eagles just showed off all that they can do against the Giants, and that's great. But it could be a battle next week if it's Cowboys-Eagles. That would be absolutely outstanding. At any rate, there you go. There's your matchup today, Cowboys and 49ers. The winner gets the Eagles. We have sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX. We'll take a quick break. We'll run through what the Blues did yesterday in our Blues breakdown. We'll set up a college basketball scoreboard leading into Travis Ford at the bottom of the hour at 10:30. Great show lined up. Sports on a Sunday morning. Glad you're with us. The podcast is available. The live stream's available on every platform that Drew Young could find. It's next on KMOX.
Royal Banks of Missouri is your community bank with locations throughout St. Louis, St. Charles, Northeast Missouri, Granite City, and Jerseyville, Illinois. A bank branch is not far away. Royal Banks brings in experienced staff and products and services designed to meet your professional and personal financial needs. Investing in our communities, one client at a time. Call 314-212-1500 today. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC, and equal opportunity lender. Looking for a new home or to refinance your current mortgage? Royal Banks of Missouri wants to be your home buying partner. With a local staff that will guide you through the process, Royal Banks is an experienced mortgage lender that you can trust. There's still time to lock in on a low rate. Call 314-212-1500 today. Royal Banks of Missouri, where better service means better banking. Member FDIC and equal opportunity lender.
The NFL playoffs live on Odyssey.
Throws, caught! Touchdown as time expires. Unbelievable turn of events.
Non-stop coverage from the biggest sports radio stations in the country. Podcasts dedicated to each NFL team. And postseason games streaming live for free.
Takes the handoff, looks right, throws right, end zone, caught, touchdown.
Your playoffs, your Odyssey. Get in the game and download the free Odyssey app today.
My best friend Jenny came over for coffee, said it's cold enough in here to play hockey, but my furnace broke and it's already late. Call Jerry Kelly because they're open till 8, JerryKelly.com. They'll be here quick and have you feeling good, JerryKelly.com. Because your furnace will be running like it should. They're certified technicians, I've been told. Will help you when it's hot and help you when it's cold, JerryKelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on, JerryKelly.com.
You know when you start up a motorcycle and you hear it go vroom, vroom, vroom when it takes off? I was losing that. I was losing my energy like everybody does as they grow older. And I don't want to be tired. I don't want to look tired and I don't want to be tired. I started using Balance of Nature about 1.5 years ago. Noticed the results immediately. And I went, oh my gosh, this works. This is what I've been missing all my life. I'm loving life actually more than I ever have. I missed my va-va voom. I got it back.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. See why Kathy Lee Gifford and thousands of others have had life-changing success with Balance of Nature. Take advantage of our New Year's offer while you still can. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com. That's 1-800-246-8751 and get $25 off plus a free fiber and spice when you use discount code KLG.
Scott, why should you never trust stairs?
I don't know. Why?
Because they're always up to something.
Very funny. And why not let contractors know that for that set of steps or the rest of the house, we have carpet, luxury vinyl, ceramic tile, carpet tile, laminate, and sheet vinyl all in stock at low, low prices.
2 locations, 7301 North Lindbergh in Hazelwood, Missouri, and 1851 West US Highway 50 in O'Fallon, Illinois. Open 7 days a week.
Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is hiring commercial and residential technicians and installers. Do you have a technical background? Are you mechanically and or electronically inclined? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis offers a paid training program, company vehicle that you take home, health benefits, competitive pay, starting bonus, and much more. Now hiring commercial and residential technicians. Go to overheaddoorsstlouis.com to learn more. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
Just when you thought a Genesis couldn't be more attractive, Genesis of St. Charles strikes again, offering you no car payments until April. That's right. Own a brand new Genesis and no car payments until April. Hurry in to Genesis of St. Charles, located in the St. Charles Hyundai building, located a quarter-mile east of Mid-Rivers Mall Drive off 70, or online at genesisofstcharles.com. Interest, if any, accrues during the deferral period, expires month's end. Genesis of St. Charles.
Did you get a call or message that mentioned Social Security that made you feel threatened or scared? That is not the Social Security Administration. Social Security will not threaten you, press you for personal information, or demand instant payment. Social Security does not accept payments by gift card, prepaid debit card, internet currency, or by mailing cash. Criminals use these forms of payment because they are hard to trace. Don't fall for it. Hang up, ignore them. Report this criminal activity to oig.ssa.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
It's on Goddard. Big fly. Nolan Arenado.
Driving jam time. And the Billikens win this one. Touchdown, Kansas City.
Welcome back to Sports on a Sunday morning on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Sports on a Sunday morning coming to you from the Stiefel Sports Studio. Tom Ackerman back with you, and the St. Louis Blues are still with you. They are here in St. Louis. They take on the Buffalo Sabres on Tuesday night, but the Blues, I don't know how else to say it. That was a stinker last night against the Blackhawks. I mean, that's a team that you should beat. The Blues were outshot them in the first period 11-3 and gave up 2 goals. They were down 2-0 at the intermission. And the first 2 shots for the Blackhawks went in, and then everything was just kind of downhill from there. The Blackhawks scored late to put it away. That's a tough one for the Blues and Coach Craig Berube. It's our Blues breakdown.
Yeah, no, it's obviously really disappointing. I thought we started the game off excellent. You know, really moving the puck well, shooting, getting chances. Made 2 mistakes that they shouldn't happen, and they're both in our net, and it's 2-0. Yeah. So we're fighting uphill the rest of the game, and you know, it wasn't good enough, obviously.
On the first goal, was it a pick play or interference on Borrego?
It's close, but the guy still should have been picked up. We let the guy go, the winger let the guy go, and we got to play 2-on-1 better than that.
Yeah. Well, you just got to put him into the boards, right? The winger on that play, right?
Just got to pick him up, the swing guy, yeah.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
Hey, Craig, shorties happen, but in the couple that you guys have given up this year, do you see any commonality? I mean, you see it happen tonight. It's just such a
well, it's a bouncing puck. Like Sauter's trying to get control of it, and he doesn't. And you can see they're going to chip it, so. We got to pull out. Our D-man that's coming up's got to, he's got to read that better and pull out. It should have been a nothing play. It's just reading, being alert, and being ready.
The sequence that happened at the end of the second period where they were shoving, which never flipped the puck. Shen said originally it was called 2 minutes on Chicago, and then all of a sudden it ended up being you guys.
I looked at it. I don't understand. It's just not why it's not just 4-on-4. I don't know why Bucci got 4 minutes.
You feel like having to kill the penalty there maybe prevented you from maybe getting that initial push at the start?
No, we killed it. We were fine. I think we weren't in the third period. For me, we didn't move the puck direct enough in the third. We just the one shift we had was good. We the Letty goal. Good shift, working them down low, but we didn't have enough sustained pressure in the third period. And for me, it all stems from just being not direct enough through the neutral zone.
You know, we hear a lot of the same stuff from the Blues. That's Craig Berube at Enterprise Center last night, thanks to Blues Productions and also to Jim Thomas for asking a lot of those questions, Jeremy Rutherford, as well as Lou Korak. And this is a team that I think the question you have to ask yourself is, what is it going to take for the Blues to be a serious playoff team? Or let alone just make the playoffs. I mean, we know mathematically what they need to do, add up some wins. But what kind of a team do they need to be a serious contender this year? And if you can't answer that question, if they don't have it within O'Reilly, Tarasenko, and anybody else who's trying to make their way back, then you have to start thinking about the future. I'm not ready to throw in the towel, but you have to be serious here if you're the Blues as to who you are. And we all know that the contracts are expiring for O'Reilly and Tarasenko. And while they're two huge pieces to this history in the Stanley Cup championship, it's okay to let that linger in your mind and try to decide what you're going to do here. And this is crunch time, man. These games are really important. That is a tough loss last night. You could have gotten yourself 4 games over 500. You could have started to pick up some momentum in the playoff standings. And that one just sets you back. And again, it's a lot of the same stuff, not focused for all 3 periods. And the Blues have to find a way to get more games like that. And if they don't, well, they're going to find themselves watching the playoffs in April and in May. College basketball, SLU's not going to be in the NCAA tournament unless they win the A10 tournament. And that is apparent. The A10 is a one-bid league, and SLU did itself no favors with its losses in the non-conference. That said, St. Louis has emerged as one of the best teams in the league. They are tied with VCU with a 6-1 record. And yesterday against LaSalle, they put it on with this player right here.
He got it out to Yuri Collins. Great work by Forrester. Yuri puts it on the floor. Wants to drive. Got in deep. Kick out for Parker off the right wing. Bang! Sincerely yours.
5-point possession, but sincerely. And a 20-piece.
71-58.
Yeah, he had a layup right before that made it a 10-point game. Then the 3 right there. Bob Ramsey, Earl Austin Jr. with the call here on KMOX. This kid can play. Sincere Parker, we talked about this on the show. He is a legit talent. First-team All-American in National Junior College. He can play, folks, and now he is showing you just got to get his feet under him, get used to that Division I game and what SLU wants to do. He dropped in 20 yesterday, and that's a career high. I think he's going to probably have more of these games where he can light it up. By the way, 20 rebounds for Francis Okoro, 20 boards. Both of those accomplished career highs with those numbers, and the Billikens beat LaSalle 84-71. Travis Ford coming up in just a few minutes. Mizzou loses 85-64 to Alabama. They had a tough situation before the game even started. Kobe Brown out with an ankle injury. To their credit, they did give it a go. They gave Alabama all it could handle early, especially with Isaiah Mosley trying to get it going. But Missouri loses 85-64 against a team that's just way better than they are. Alabama's a legit Final Four team. They're ranked 4th in the country for a reason. As for Mosley, though, 19 points for him. He was 9 of 19 from the floor. And now that he is playing, Missouri is going to be better. They just are. They're going to be a better team. He is not only a great shooter, he's a really good passer. And when he is completely engaged, he is a tremendous player. And he did all of that without even shooting well. He was 1 of 9 from 3. He can hit the 3. So it was nice to see Mosley out there, but Missouri was just overwhelmed. Alabama's great. 85-64, Alabama wins. Kansas is a really good team, and on any given day, things can happen, and Kansas got slaughtered yesterday by TCU. Now, TCU's legit. I would not dismiss TCU necessarily, but Kansas loses 83-60 to TCU, a team that had never beaten Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse. Now, they are ranked 14th in the country for a reason. TCU has posted some very good wins. They beat K-State. They beat Baylor. Back in December, they swept the entire month. They can play, but again, they are going into a territory that nobody goes. I mean, you don't beat Kansas by 23 at Allen. So something's wrong with KU is the summary there. They've lost now back-to-back games. They fell to K-State in overtime, and now they lose at home to TCU. Congrats to SIU. Nice win over Missouri State. Very good. They're number one team in the league in the Valley. Also Belmont. Both of those teams, 8-2. Belmont beat Bradley yesterday by a bucket with a few seconds left. I was there for that one in Peoria. Travis Ford is next on KMOX.
KMOX Enter Service Weekend, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
Need to sell your home, but not willing to play the wait and see game? This is Debbie Monterey with Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty. With Gloria Liu, you have seller options to choose from, including a no obligation cash offer from one of Gloria Liu's cash buyers. It's simple, straightforward, and in many cases, you can receive a cash offer in less than 24 hours. No more wait and see game. And you can even pick the closing date. With Gloria Liu and her cash offer program, you are always in control. Not ready for the cash offer? No problem. Gloria Liu has a guaranteed sold program that states Gloria will sell your home at your agreed to price and time frame, or she will buy it herself, guaranteed in writing. Gloria has solutions and options for every seller. So call today and ask about Gloria's no obligation cash offer program or the guaranteed sold program, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
It's on Goddard. Big fly, Nolan Arenado.
Driving jam time.
And the
Billikens win this one. Touchdown, Kansas City. Welcome back to Sports on a Sunday morning on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Hargrove brings it back on a run, up the left side. Crossover, got a screen. Kick out to Parker. Sincere on the wing. Drives inside, throws up a pair of glass. Good, whistle, ball. Count the basket. Sincere Parker. The drive off the wing.
Recognized he had a smaller defender on him. Instead of shooting the three, which he's good at, I'm just going to go straight to the basket. Reached in, off the glass. Chance for an and one.
That's just good basketball. Good analysis there by Earl Austin Jr. The call from Bob Ramsey on KMOX. This is our chat with Travis Ford, and it's sponsored by Royal Banks of Missouri. SLU wins at 84-71 over LaSalle. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Tom. How you doing?
I'm doing well. There you go. Sincere Parker, he doesn't just shoot threes. He can get to the bucket, and he did it right there on an and one, and then he did knock down a three just moments later as the Billikens win the game by a final of 84-71. Had to be pleased across the board. Let's start with Sincere Parker.
Yeah, no question. He gave us a real big spark off the bench. We were really struggling to score early. Couldn't get much going offensively, and he came in and gave us a great spark, made a couple of threes and got to the rim. And he's done that the last couple of games for us. When we were at Loyola the other night, he came in and gave us some points when we needed it. So, yeah, that's kind of been the difference in our team. The bench has really stepped up.
That they have, and the Billikens are successful once again. They've now won 5 in a row. They're 6-1. That is your best league start, Travis Ford, as Billikens coach. What do you think about that?
Well, we'll take it. We wish we were 7-0, but we'll take it. Never satisfied, but it's good to be off to a good start. We know we have some very difficult games to go within our league, but one thing we have done, we've won on the road. We've played a lot of road games of lately, more road games than we have home games. So, that's a plus. And we saw yesterday just how difficult road games are in our league. Dayton goes to George Washington, where we were just there last week, and gets beat at George Washington. So those add up to be good wins eventually. You just got to, at this point, understand that glad to be 6-1, but understand it's only going to get tougher.
A little bit of history here. Francis Okoro, 20 rebounds, the most by a player in the A10 this season, and the second most by a Billiken in Chaifetz Arena history. Hassan French back in 1920 against Belmont in that 1920 season had 24 rebounds in a game. That was just a few years ago. But Okoro with 20 boards. He also had 12 points and a double-double for Yuri Collins, 11 assists to go along with 17 points. Second all-time in the A10 in career assists. Let's start with Okoro, who cleans the glass for you, Travis Ford.
Yeah, we were, like I mentioned earlier, we were really struggling earlier. We just couldn't get any rhythm whatsoever. And Francis kept us in the game with his rebounding and with his tip-ins. He had a lot of offensive rebound putbacks. And I mentioned it to our team, and we talked about Sinclair Parker, how important he was. But I don't think we had success yesterday if it weren't for the 20 rebounds that Francis had. When things aren't going well for you offensively and you just can't get much going, you got to have somebody step up with an effort stat. And that's what it is. It's an effort stat. And he was a difference maker. The 20 rebounds, I thought, was what gave us an advantage. It was the difference in the game for our team. It just allowed us extra possessions. He went above the rim and rebounded. It was really important to our team yesterday, all 20 of them.
Yuri Collins had those 17 points and 11 dimes, and we've talked about his greatness, of course. But I want to ask you this question. How did your team change, and was it, you never want anybody to be out, but did it help to see a team be successful without Yuri and the way that you were able to run your offense and distribute the basketball? Have you grown from that experience?
Tom, I think we have, and did it without even knowing it. Obviously, as you mentioned, we never want to be without any players, and you never want to be without Yuri, especially. But we put so much pressure on Yuri to do so many things on the court, from the offensive end to the defensive end, pretty much everything. And that one game, it made other people do things that we haven't done all year long. Handling the ball, put them in different ball screen situations, because it's usually just Yuri in the ball screen situation. And we started seeing some things that we thought might help our team and also help Yuri relieve some of the pressure that Yuri has on him. In some ways, it might have, shown us a few different things and given some guys some confidence in some other areas that hopefully will benefit us.
The Billikens now with this win, have a 6-1 record in the A10, and they will play Davidson on Friday night. Back in action, you're going to go on the road. That's going to be a nationally televised game on ESPN2. Of course, we'll have it here on KMOX. But SLU, really right now, when you see this team play, how would you define, have you defined who you are? We talk about that a lot. This basketball team, how would you describe who you are at this point as we've reached January 22nd?
Well, I think, there's a lot of ways to define a team, a team's identity. Some people can define it with their offense. Some people define it with a defense. Maybe it's pressure or pressing or fast pace. I think this team in particular is defined by its whole, by the bench, we have different guys that can step up on different nights. Here lately, Javante's played extremely well. Last night, not quite as well, but you have Sinclair Parker come in and play well. We have two bigs that one night it might be Francis Okoro, another night it might be Jake Forster. One night Javante Perkins might be hot from three and might be Gibson Jimerson hot from three. I think the identity of this team is the whole, the bench, being able to play different guys and different guys step up. And then you look at our defensive numbers. Our defensive numbers are really, really good. And some nights we've had to hang our hat on that. I thought we did last night, even though we scored 84 points, which I'm still trying to figure out how we scored 84 because I thought our offense was not very good. Our defense really stepped up. We held a very good offensive team to 35% field goal percentage which would lead the country. And we're pretty good at, defensive field goal percentage. And then we're the number one rebounding team in our league. So I think defense, rebounding, but most importantly, our identity as a whole, as a team that we can hopefully go to our bench, and that's what's going to be a difference maker for you.
And then you have this guy.
Massini. We're tied at 5. Collins, backdoor lob. Jam time! Flight 22! Terrence Hargrove Jr.
Made eye contact. TJ with all 7 Billiken points.
Hargrove Airlines gets off the ground, and that was a really nice day for Hargrove, wasn't it? 11 points for him on 4 of 8 shooting, Coach.
Yeah, TJ, I think, has been playing really good basketball, especially on both ends of the court. I think he's just what I love about TJ is the progression he's had from year to year and gotten better at certain things that we needed him to get better at. And really brings an incredible spark. He's obviously the most athletic player on our team, plays with the most energy on our team. Plays with a personality, has a great personality that he plays with that I think other players feed off of and need to feed off of. So we've been really, really pleased with him. And, he's obviously, it's been very, very important because obviously Javon Pickett's been nursing a pretty serious injury and trying to get him, just in there to, try to figure out if he's ready to go or not. Some games he can give us more than others, Javon can, but TJ's been a real, real big spark for us.
That win, again, 5 in a row for the Billikens. You'll be tested on Friday at Davidson. Then you go to Fordham for another road game up in New York on the 31st. You won't be back home until VCU on Friday. Now, I would never ask you to look at a game that you aren't immediately playing, and I know you're concentrating on those too, but I will, through this little platform here on KMOX, send a message to the fans that Friday night, February 3rd, 6 o'clock tip, it'll be on national TV, and of course here on KMOX, you're taking on VCU at home. Now, I note that you had 7,500 screaming fans last night. I know you'd like to have 10,000 in the building for that one on a Friday night.
Yeah, Tom, we've had some great crowds this year. I think it's been, incredible support from the fans, the students. Had a great crowd yesterday. But it's going to be that much more important going forward. And you got some great teams coming into Chaifetz Arena. Obviously VCU and the tradition they have in basketball, and they're off to a great start. We're both tied for first right now within our league. I have a lot of respect for Mike Rhodes and what he's done. They're a fun, exciting team to watch. But yeah, we're going to need a packed Chaifetz Arena to make a difference. We're going to need it because you mentioned we got 2 more road games coming. It seems like we're on the road here lately all the time. So every time we turn around, we're back on the road for multiple games, back-to-back games. So when we get back to Chaifetz, we need to pack it out. We know it's going to be packed at Davidson this weekend and different things like that. So we need to return the favor to these other teams like we have, and hopefully we'll pack Chaifetz out and hopefully have some sellouts and big student sections, and it sure makes a difference.
So I would circle that one right now, Friday, February 3rd, so it doesn't sneak up on you. There's no Blues game. They're on a break. Downtown will be yours. So it's St. Louis University basketball on Friday night, February 3rd, as the Billikens take on VCU. Until then, we look forward to the next game at Davidson. We always look forward to these visits. Thank you very much. Congratulations on the win yesterday.
My pleasure. I appreciate you having me on, Tom. Thank you.
You bet. Travis Ford, head coach of the Billikens, with us. Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX, again sponsored by Royal Banks of Missouri. We are back to talk. We'll stay in the SLU family, the Chaifetz family. RossChaifetz is going to join us. A new team has been established in St. Louis. It is the St. Louis Shock. We'll tell you what they do next.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars. Lose the weight and stop smoking. Only $49.99. Seminars Wednesday, February 1st at the Holiday Inn Express Suite St. Louis Airport in St. Louis. And Thursday, February 2nd at the 4 Points by Sheraton St. Louis Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
What if everything you got came with a little bit of money? Spicy chicken ramen with a side of quarters, a full tank of gas, and a $5 bill. An entire pantry's worth of groceries and a pocket full of cash. Well, then you'd be living life on the upside. The first platform that gives you real cash back in real life wherever you roll. Restaurants, grocery stores, gas stations, all cashback opportunities. So order the expensive appetizer, buy a little extra at the store, fill your gas tank till the pump stops. Because with Upside, you can. Start earning cash back just for doing you. Download the free Upside app and use promo code SPICY for an extra $10 cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's promo code SPICY. Promo code SPICY. SPICY for an extra $10 on the free Upside app. Start living life on the upside with the free Upside app.
Thanks for calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK. This is Sarah. How can I help?
I want to meet your tailor and your hairdresser. The people cruising around in your trucks look like catalog models.
You could be wearing one of those uniforms and riding around in one of those trucks.
You'll be a technician and a magician.
That sounds awesome.
It is awesome. Your job will be to make junk disappear whenever someone points at it.
You'll teach me?
We'll teach you.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
It's on Gunner. Big fly. Nolan Arenado.
Driving jam time.
And the Billikens win this one. Touchdown! Kansas City! Welcome back to Sports on a Sunday morning on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
From the Stifel Sports Studio, you're listening to Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX. It's 1047. Joining us on the line, and we appreciate him being with us, RossChaifetz. As the Chaifetz family certainly strikes a note with Billiken fans, the name is on the arena. That is his father, Dr. Richard Chaifetz, involved in team management of the St. Louis Shock. Major League Pickleball comes to St. Louis as the final two teams of the league were announced, and RossChaifetz joins us now on KMOX. How are you, Ross?
I'm good, Tom. Good to be back with you. Thanks for having me.
Good to be with you. You heard the tail end there of Travis Ford talking to us. Let me ask you real quick about the St. Louis Billikens before we talk about pickleball. What are you and your father's thoughts about the Billikens lately?
We're excited. I mean, look, I think we're in a decent position. I think I heard 6-1 start in A10 play. I think is the best in the Travis Ford era. You know, of course, a couple wins slipped away maybe earlier in the season that, you know, in hindsight, we would have wished we had, but we think we're in position. The Billikens are slowly but surely walking themselves back into the at-large conversation. We got a couple big opportunities ahead with teams like Dayton, teams like VCU, and a big one against Davidson this weekend. So we're excited about where the Billikens are at. They got a ton of talent on the floor, and we think they're in position to close out the season relatively strong here.
Well, I like that. You said it, not me. You brought up at large. You know, I've been saying all along they got to focus on winning this A10 tournament, but you just never know. I mean, it's the numbers don't reflect it at the moment, but a lot of times it's what have you done for me lately? And if you get on a hot streak going into March, you may get the nod. You never know. And the Billikens just keep on winning. That'll solve a lot of things. That's for sure. The pickleball ownership group, there are some big names that own pickleball, including the Chaifetz name here in St. Louis. So set this up for us. MLP by Margaritaville, that's the name of the league, announced two teams for the 2023 season. The Orlando Squeeze, which is a great name, by the way, and the St. Louis Shock, also a terrific name. And this ownership group was put together. How did this happen?
You know, we've had our eyes on pickleball for a while now. We've noticed the phenomenon and the growth over the last couple of years, especially during the pandemic. You know, as you know, Tom, we make lots of investments. We have a strong focus on sports and media, and we've been looking for ways to play this pickleball phenomenon. We've noticed, to your point, some of the ownership groups that were announced over the last year or two, some really, really phenomenal names. Mark Cuban, Mark Lasry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Drew Brees, Naomi Osaka, Kygo, Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And we saw the prominence of the sport really growing, and we did everything we could to put ourselves in the best position possible to be awarded a franchise. We were excited when they called us a couple of weeks ago and said that there were two more slots, the final two team slots that were going to be opening up. So we put our pedal to the metal and did everything we could to put ourselves in best position to be awarded a team. And as you mentioned, you know, us and the DeVos family who own the Orlando Magic down there, got awarded the final 2 franchises. So we're really excited about the sport. We're really excited about the league, and we're really excited about the owners that will be sitting alongside.
What do we know about when and where? I see the season kicks off in Mesa, Arizona here pretty soon. And what's to come for St. Louis?
Yeah, so there will be 6 official MLP tournaments this year. The first, as you mentioned, will be in Mesa, Arizona this coming week. Our first match will be Friday morning. We're playing the California Black Bears, who are actually the most recent champions of MLP. So it's going to be an exciting match. Friday, there'll be round-robin style matchups in our group. And then Saturday, we'll move into quarters and semifinals. And hopefully we'll be fortunate enough Sunday to position ourselves to play in that final there. Mesa is going to be really exciting. There's going to be tons of ways for fans to watch and engage with our team while they're out there. You'll see those come out on our STL Shock Twitter and Instagram channels here shortly. But the league will be streaming live every single matchup. And they also just recently announced a huge media deal with the Tennis Channel. So the Tennis Channel will be featuring a national broadcast of the quarters, semis, and finals of MLP Mesa coming up this week. So we're excited about it. We've got a really, really good team. All 4 of our players are top 50 pickleball players in the world. 2 of our players are top 10, top 15. So we think we're in a really good position to do some damage this coming week. And we hope the St. Louis community will, turn on their stream, turn on their TV, and check us out.
How do you get the players who play for the St. Louis Shock?
Yeah, good question. So there's a draft and a redraft process every single year. The MLP, their 24 teams do a draft that pulls from the 96 best pickleball players in the world. There is an official pickleball ranking system that makes the top 96 players eligible for the draft. And then it's a snake-style draft where each team drafts 4 players. So we're excited about that. We've got 4 really, really solid players. And the fun thing about pickleball is that there will be these redraft processes taking place occasionally. So it gives us an opportunity to get to know some players, maybe keep the folks around that we really like and have performed well for us, or gives us an opportunity to mix things up, bring in some new talent, and bring some new team members to the table.
I've never played, but I know how fast it's growing. I heard about it a few years ago that I should be playing. I hear it now that I should be playing. I love the sound of it. And I love the speed of it. And there's just something about it that is very appealing. That's why it's the fastest growing sport in America right now, isn't it?
Absolutely. You said it. 40 million people played the game in the last 12 months, which is a phenomenal statistic. And for folks such as yourself, Tom, or folks who haven't played the game generally, I describe it as a hybrid of ping pong, racquetball, and tennis. So it's played on a smaller court than a tennis court. You've got a racket and obviously a pickleball. You mentioned that noise that the ball makes. It's called that dinking noise. But yeah, the game is incredible. It's highly, highly accessible. Folks as young as 2, 3, or 4 years old can play, and folks in their 80s, 90s, and even folks that are 100 years old. So we love the accessibility, the ease of access to the game. It's cheap. It doesn't require a lot of space. You can play in your local park. You can play in your basement. You can play anywhere. And that accessibility is what is really catching the eye of most Americans. And as I mentioned, 40 million people in the last 12 months is really, really phenomenal. The game is really taking off here.
I love the fact that Margaritaville's attached to it. That's a perfect thing for pickleball because it is a social sport, right? I mean, you can sit around and hang out with your buddies or your friends or as couples. I see a lot of couples getting together and playing pickleball and making a night of it.
And that's exactly what makes it so fun is it can be highly casual or it can be extremely competitive. The nice thing about pickleball that most fans don't realize and a differentiator from tennis is, when you're playing tennis, you're, 30, maybe 40 yards away from your opponent across the court. It's not a social game. With pickleball, you're 10, 15 feet away. So you can chat, you can hang out the whole time. And again, you can play it cool and casual, or it can get extremely, extremely competitive. So it goes both ways there. And for that reason, it attracts not only players, but fans who are willing to engage and watch the game.
RossChaifetz is with us. Just a couple minutes left, and then we'll circle back to pickleball. But I wanted to ask you this question because you and your dad know sports and marketing and markets as well as anybody. St. Louis, how do you view it as a sports city? We don't have an NFL team anymore. We haven't had an NBA team for decades. We do have Major League Baseball. We do have NHL. We have the St. Louis Battlehawks coming. You talked about the St. Louis Shock. Of course, we have Division I college basketball right here in the heart of the city in Midtown. But how do you view it? Are we still one of the more attractive St. Louis, or one more attractive sports markets in the country? You've been everywhere.
Yeah, well, it is, officially speaking, a top 25 DMA designated media market. So it has that going for it. Look, we'd be lying if we sat here and said it was Los Angeles or, New York or Miami. But the beautiful thing about St. Louis is the amount of engagement and the involvement that the community showcases for its teams. I mean, you mentioned the Cardinals, you mentioned the Blues, you mentioned now the Battlehawks, City SC, and, we've witnessed it firsthand, with the Billikens. There is so much passion out there. And it's really these, sort of tier 2 cities, if you will, where that passion really trickles out. Some of that gets lost in some of the more major markets where there's just a ton of things going on and a lot to do. It's the large but smaller markets, such as the St. Louis, such as the Nashville, such as the Kansas City, where folks really, bleed for their teams. And so that's something that I think St. Louis has going for it. I don't think that's going away. As I mentioned, it's the top 25 DMA. So every sport wants to be in the market. And for that reason, we're excited about it. And frankly, that's part of the reason that we wanted to bring MLP to St. Louis here.
Yeah, and I was going to circle back to that and hammer it home that St. Louis City SC is going to be a game changer for this city. It is going to be outstanding. I'm excited about Major League Pickleball and what this means for you all and for St. Louis to be able to root on something that has caught on and is red hot. And I wish you all the best with it, RossChaifetz. We certainly will be paying attention.
Tom, we appreciate that. I encourage your listeners to go out and follow our accounts on Twitter and Instagram at STLShockMLP. You can learn about the game. You can learn about our roster. And we'll be posting ways over the next couple of weeks that folks can engage and watch as we compete in Mesa. So thanks for having me. We're very excited about it.
Absolutely. Major League Pickleball, the St. Louis Shock. Our thanks to RossChaifetz for joining us. We'll be back with more Sports on a Sunday after the news.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife, Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds, and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day, and nothing worked until Mark Patrick hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. Hypnosis is designed to destroy unwanted cravings. That's right, seminars, Wednesday, February 1st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, St. Louis Airport in St. Louis, and Thursday, February 2nd at the 4 Points by Sheraton St. Louis, Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminar.com.
Everyone here knows Diamonds Direct is the place to go for the best diamonds at the best prices. But did you know that savvy buyers from all over America, even Los Angeles and New York, now come here to buy their diamonds? These high-end shoppers have discovered that Diamonds Direct has one of America's best selections of large, rare diamonds, from 3 carats to 20 carats, all certified by the GIA, the most reputable and most trusted gem lab in the world. Because of Diamonds Direct's international connections and tremendous buying power, we're one of only a handful of jewelry stores in America that is able to offer a large selection of rare and precious GIA diamonds. In fact, Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection includes a stunning array of high-end Riviera necklaces, 20-carat tennis bracelets, and an extraordinary collection of rare, precious gemstones, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and even the really hard-to-find fancy yellow diamonds. Come see why Diamonds Direct right here is the destination for high-end shoppers all over America. Extraordinary selection, quality, and unmatched value. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. DiamondsDirect.com.
Ask yourself, what am I doing to guarantee I will have adequate, inflation-hedged income that I may never outlive? Why not make sure your future income is growing and may last as long as you do? Call for your complimentary retirement and income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233. And also join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio.
KMOX KECK HD2 St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis. This is KMOX, always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by General Steel.
I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington. At least 10 people are dead and 10 others injured after a gunman opened fire last night at a Lunar New Year celebration in Monterey Park, California. CBS's Chris Van Cleve is there.
The mass shooting took place inside a ballroom dance club a little before 10:30 Saturday night.
All I can tell you is that it was a firearm that was used.
Monterey Park is a community of nearly 62,000. Almost two-thirds of its population is Asian. The Lunar New Year celebration is a big attraction here. Witnesses said they initially thought the shots were fireworks.
I did hear some sounds going off, and I was like, fireworks? It's very surprising, shocking to hear that something like this went on in not only a small city, but my city.
The suspect is described as an Asian male. More documents marked classified have been found during an FBI search yesterday of President Biden's Delaware home. Democratic Senator Chris Coons on ABC says he does not believe the documents investigation will be a deciding issue in 2024.
I do think in the end, whenever the special counsel concludes their investigation, they will agree with what President Biden just said. There was no there there.
White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain plans to leave his post. CBS's Nancy Cordes has the story.
Klain has been saying privately that he was planning to move on since last year. Most White House chiefs of staff tend to spend about 2 years in the high-pressure role, and Klain is at the 2-year mark.
Klain is expected to step down after President Biden's State of the Union address February 7th. The U.S. has once again reached the debt limit. On CNN, Democratic Senator Dick Durbin was asked about Republicans who are insisting on spending cuts before addressing the debt ceiling.
When they enacted tax cuts for the wealthiest people of America during the Trump administration, they added dramatically to the national debt, which we are now facing. Having done that, they need to face the responsibility of paying for it.
A default on U.S. debt could have severe economic consequences. Police in Daytona Beach, Florida, have arrested a woman for killing her 77-year-old husband in his hospital room. Daytona Police Chief Jakari Young.
Apparently, because he was terminally ill, they had a conversation about it, and they actually planned this approximately 3 weeks ago, that if he continued to take a turn for the worse, that he wanted her to end this.
The 76-year-old wife is expected to face murder charges. A memorial service for Lisa Marie Presley.
Welcome to Graceland, the forever home of Elvis and Lisa Marie Presley. We gather here today from all over the world to honor and celebrate the life of Lisa Marie Presley, who was taken from us much too soon.
This is CBS News.
If you're a business owner renting or leasing, you can save a ton of money and own a custom-designed building made by General Steel. Just call 888-74-STEEL and get a quote today.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11:03, we have cloudy skies and 37 degrees downtown at the Arch. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow. Our top story, calling it a holy day, over a dozen clergy come together to file a lawsuit against Missouri's abortion bans. They claim it violates the separation of church and state. Among the 13 clergy members is Rabbi Jim Bennett. He says he was appalled to see Missouri lawmakers rushing to ban abortion in the state after the Supreme Court acted.
And believe that this is overreach and imposing religious principles and values upon all the citizens of the state of Missouri.
Rachel Laser, president and CEO of Americans United for the Separation of Church and State, says Missouri was a perfect place to file the suit because Governor Parson and state lawmakers put wording detailing their personal religious beliefs into the law. By the way, you can hear more from Rabbi Bennett and Rachel Laser Monday morning on Total Information AM at 8:35. An investigation is underway into the two-alarm fire at Bob Kramer's Marionettes on Laclede. It claimed one life. St. Louis Fire Captain Garen Mosby tells KMOX the city building division responded yesterday afternoon.
They were able to dispatch larger equipment to help with bringing down the building. Initially, it was to assist us with the recovery process. And after the body was removed from the building, they went in to make the area safer. They demoed the building.
Person's name who was found in the debris has not been released yet, and the fire cause is not known. Friends are remembering former St. Louis Board of Aldermen, President, and State Representative Tom Villa. He died at the age of 77.
Former St. Louis Mayor Lyda Cruson tweeted, "Villa had a great sense of humor and was a friend to many." Cruson says she'll miss Tom's handwritten notes scrawled on bygone political stationery. Current Mayor Tashara Jones tweeted Villa spent his life serving St. Louis and its residents. She says he showed kindness and found ways to work alongside colleagues, even when they disagreed. Visitation will be Friday at the Cutest Funeral Home on Gravois in Afton. The funeral mass is at 10 a.m. Saturday at St. Margaret Mary Alacoque, 4900 Ringer Road. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
An area meat and egg producer says more people are coming to the farm to buy eggs due to price increases at the grocery store. Jill Vonderhaar and her husband own Main Street Pastures near St. Rose, Illinois. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says as of December, egg prices have gone up 138% from a year ago, in part due to avian flu in birds. How much are her eggs?
We did our last price increase last spring. We charge $6 a dozen right now, and that's for large pasture eggs that we come from our chickens right on our farm.
Vonderhaar says usually their price is higher than the grocery store because their 600 hens graze in pastures on 130 acres. She says he hasn't lost any of the hens to avian flu. Your weather forecast, cloudy the rest of the afternoon. Temperatures just getting a little bit warmer. Overnight low around 31. Tomorrow, 41 for a high. And then we're watching closely a storm that is likely coming in on Tuesday night. It could bring some significant snowfall and definitely some dangerous travel conditions. Temperatures around freezing going into Thursday. Right now, it is 37 degrees in St. Peter's, Florissant, and downtown at the Arch. I'm Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
There's a high fly ball
From KMOX Sports.
that's hit deep to left field, and it's on Goddard.
Big fly, Nolan Arenado. There's a moment for you.
Driving jam time. The Billikens win this one.
Comeback pattern caught. Touchdown, Kansas City.
Now, sports on a Sunday morning on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Welcome back. We are in hour number 2, Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX. Coming up at 11:15, our old friend Bryce Weiler, born blind, but that has not stopped him from being involved in sports. He has led a group that allows people with disabilities experience sports right there on fields, sometimes in big league ballparks. And he has some great thoughts on that. He's also a motivational speaker. Coaches far and wide invite Bryce to come into their locker rooms to speak to their teams. And the latest, Samantha Quigley-Smith, the head coach of SIUE women's basketball, invited Bryce into the room and allowed him to chat to the team about his life and about what they can do to be better. And SIUE went out yesterday and won a ball game. They won their game by a count of 78-69 over Southern Indiana. So we'll continue to watch that and see Bryce Weiler's influence, and we'll hear from Coach Smith on the way here at 11:15. At 11:30, John Mozeliak, president of baseball operations of the St. Louis Cardinals, will be with us. We will talk to him about the club, all of his experiences over the warm-up, but also what this team may or may not do before the start of the season, what they may or may not do before the deadline, before the playoffs. I really think that they look at this season in sections. That's what the Cardinals do. They break this down. Whether you like what they're doing or not, they do have a philosophy that they adhere to. I do think on occasion they'd like to stray from that. Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. I have a theory as to what happened to them from when they said they were going to increase payroll to where they are right now. And I'll present that to John Mozeliak and see if I'm right or wrong. The other thing is the Chiefs. They are right now reviewing an MRI. One is to be taken of Patrick Mahomes' right ankle. That is a huge story. If that is compromised, they will turn to Chad Henne, who came in and actually went 98 yards for a touchdown. He hit an all-pro tight end by the name of Travis Kelce for a touchdown. He hit Kadarius Toney in the drive. He found Kelce a couple more times. He had, I think a really tough assignment. I mean, he goes into the home playoff game against the Jacksonville Jaguars and came in and I thought played quite well. And if they have to turn to him, well, he's going to have to lean on people like Kelce and Isaiah Pacheco. That 7th-round draft pick is really good. He had 95 yards rushing. A lot of that on Henne's drive as the offensive line just kept that thing churning. And, they handed it off to Pacheco, and Henne was ready to play the rest of the day. But they took an x-ray of Mahomes' ankle. It was negative, And he had to talk Andy Reid basically into putting him back into the game. And he negotiated his way back into the game, as legends often do. And with Henny on the sideline, Mahomes led them to victory. But he's supposed to get that MRI exam today. He vowed to be ready for next week's AFC Championship game. But Henny will be ready if they need him. So that's a big story that's going to come out at some point about Patrick Mahomes. We may find out today. Sometimes it takes multiple doctors to review those MRIs, and they do their due diligence before they release anything to the public. The other game that we're watching, of course, is Buffalo and Cincinnati. The winner of that gets the Chiefs. If the Bengals win it, they go to Arrowhead. If the Bills win it, they go to Atlanta. And the ticket demand, I understand, in Atlanta is through the roof for that game. If somehow that game is played, it's kind of like having a Super Bowl in a way, because you're in a Super Bowl city, Atlanta, neutral site, and everybody's going to gobble up those tickets. If that ends up being Kansas City, Buffalo, what a fun atmosphere that'll be, really. I mean, I'm not rooting for it necessarily, but I'm fascinated by it. I think Chiefs fans would like to be at home, and probably will be pulling for the Bengals in this one. But remember, Bengals they're upset specialists. And the Bills will have their hands full today, and the same thing would happen, I think, for Kansas City. Whoever plays the Chiefs will definitely have to be careful not to get overconfident. If Mahomes is compromised, that team is still very capable of piling up a win. They've got a really nice defense. And then the nightcap today, I said it before, I'll say it again, Dallas 49ers is going to be a great one, and I do think the Cowboys are going to win the game today. I think they're going to beat the 49ers, not handily. I think it'll be a great football game. I think the Cowboys are no longer those step on their own foot Cowboys of old. I feel like this team is capable of really good things. I hate to say it because I'm not a Cowboys person at all. I mean, none of it, except for Ezekiel Elliott. That's my guy. Other than that, forget it. And he's not even playing. Well, he's playing, but Pollard is their guy now. Pollard's the guy who carries the football for them. So it's a fun day. After I coach my girls team today, we're not going to have some of our players today, and we got Pattonville today. So after that one, then I'm going to post up with a fire in the fireplace and watch some Bills and Bengals this afternoon. When we come back, Bryce Weiler, then John Mozeliak, and we carry the last part of this 11 o'clock hour into some spring training conversation. We're going to get you in the mood for spring training, which is just weeks away. This is the home of the Cardinals, KMOX, from the Stiefel Sports Studio.
St. Louis Public Library truly has something for everyone, from live music to crafts, speakers, classes, maker spaces, kids' activities, passport services, video games, and yes, books. And if you love books, you should join Book Chat with Debbie Monterey and St. Louis Public Library on Facebook. A breath of fresh air on Facebook where people discuss books. And once a month, we do a live author chat. This Tuesday, January 24th at 3 p.m., I'll be chatting with Lindy Drew of Humans of St. Louis. Those of you who followed Humans of St. Louis on social media know wonderful photography and people relaying stories and answers that are funny, insightful, heartbreaking, and thought-provoking. The gorgeous Humans of St. Louis book sold out. Its first printing, second printing is underway. Lindy Drew of Humans of St. Louis on Book Chat with Debbie Monterey and St. Louis Public Library, Tuesday, January 24th at 3. St. Louis Public Library, St. Louis's original search engine. Find them at slpl.org.
Now, your Live Nation lineup.
Don't miss these upcoming shows. Toto, March 26th at Stiefel Theater. Matchbox 20, June 20th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Foreigner, July 19th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Bret Michaels Party Gras, July 28th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Leonard Skinner and ZZ Top, August 17th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater.
For tickets and info, hit up livenation.com.
All right, with the severe cold weather we received, remember, furnaces aren't made or sized to handle this type of extreme temperatures. Your house isn't built for this extreme weather. You're going to feel it, so don't panic, don't overspend. But if you've experienced uncomfort, I can't say the word. If you've been uncomfortable in your house for at least a couple, 3, 4, 5 years, you need to call me. Don't base your call on the extreme cold weather we just experienced. But if you like your furnace checked, just to make sure, call me, Bart Inman. Remember, as always, just one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600. Do the internet thing, Bart Inman. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight, and his cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend lost 20 pounds her first 2 months.
What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. Hypnosis is designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late-day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. That's right, seminars, Wednesday, February 1st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, St. Louis Airport in St. Louis, and Thursday, February 2nd at the 4 Points by Sheraton St. Louis, Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminar.com.
It's on Goddard.
Big fly, Nolan Arenado.
Driving jam time.
And the Billikens win this one. Touchdown, Kansas City.
Welcome back to Sports on a Sunday morning on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Welcome back to KMOX. It is Sports on a Sunday morning. I'm Tom Ackerman from the Stiefel Sports Studio, and joining us on the line, Samantha Quigley-Smith, the head coach of SIUE women's basketball. They picked up their third win in a row yesterday, knocking off Southern Indiana by a count of 78-69. Coach Smith, great to have you on KMOX. Congrats on the W.
Thank you so much, and so good to be here.
Absolutely great to have you on. And you had an opportunity to speak with one of my good buddies, and I am bringing him on right now as well, and that is Bryce Weiler, who is no stranger to KMOX's Sports on a Sunday morning. How are you, Bryce?
Hi, Tom. Hi, Coach Sam. I'm great. Thank you for having me on, Tom.
It's great to have you on. Now you're undefeated since he spoke to your team. So this is fact. We have nailed this down. As Coach Sam is aware, and as I am as well, and many of our listening audience, Bryce Weiler was born blind. And Bryce, you have never let that stop you. I've known you for, I'd say, a decade plus now. Since I first met you on the floor at Evansville before one of my games. And ever since then, we've been inspired by all that you do for sports. And tell us about your experience this time with SIUE women's basketball.
I really enjoyed Coach Sam giving me the opportunity to speak to her SIUE Cougars women's basketball team, because I want to be able to share my story with more sports teams, but especially with women's athletic programs. So it was great to have that opportunity to speak to another women's basketball team.
What did you say to them, Bryce? Bryce, what did you say to that team?
I spoke to them about the opportunity of that they have to play basketball and that they should never take anything in their life for granted, and how they can use basketball as a vehicle to help them to be successful in their life, both in basketball, but also in transitioning into their post-career playing basketball.
It's a special message, I know, Coach Smith, for your team and your players. What did you take away? And I was going to ask you for possibly a link or a video of that speech, but I thought I'd keep that private between you and your players until I know for sure that it's actually been posted, and then we can let people see it for themselves. What did you take from it?
Yeah, definitely. Gosh, and if I would have known we would have gone on a winning streak, Bryce, I would have had you a little earlier in the season. You know what I mean? No, but his message has really resonated with our group. You know, Bryce talks a lot about life experiences, you know, and how we have choices every single day. And those choices impact not only ourselves, but they impact everybody around us. You know, so that interaction he had with our women, you know, after our game against Eastern, it was really a hard fought battle. You know, Eastern Illinois came out on top, but Bryce's message at the end of the game was, you know, very moving. I thought, you know, quite a few of our women were in tears, you know, just hearing about his life experiences and how he really worked through all that adversity. So was just really cool for our team to get to experience something like that.
And your team has played well over these last 3 games. What have you seen within your team that has changed?
Yeah, just a different level of energy and competitiveness, really an understanding of this growth of the season and what that is for basketball. You know, you get to a January and February and you want to be playing your best ball. So we're getting closer and closer to that. And we've had a lot of, you know, like Bryce said, learning experiences throughout this season. Had a pretty tough non-conference schedule, and now getting into our league in the Ohio Valley, you know, getting to a place of really competing for one of those top 2 or 3 spots.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I mentioned, you've won 3 straight. You beat Lindenwood, Morehead State, and Southern Indiana. You started off January with a win over Tennessee State. You beat Southeast Missouri State late in the month on December 31st on New Year's Eve. So that's a 5-3 conference record, Coach Smith. I mean, that's how you get it going.
Yeah, we're moving in the right direction. So just about learning and, you know, doing something different than we did the day before. So again, Bryce's message was just one that really resonated with our group.
What was your impression of the team as a whole, Bryce? I know you are a basketball aficionado. If I had to pick one sport that you know best, it's probably that one.
I know that Coach Sam's team is going to be successful because she played for my friend Coach Doug Bruno at DePaul. And just as we've talked about how Nick Saban really helps his players and his athletes to really be successful on the field in football and to help them to transition to being successful in life, Doug Bruno does the same thing for his athletes, whether it's Coach Sam's sister or Coach Sam herself or all the other players. So just knowing where Coach Sam has came from her time playing women's college basketball, she's going to coach any team successfully that she coaches, and she's done that previously at both St. Francis of Illinois and Lewis University.
As a matter of fact, Samantha Quigley Smith, who is the 6th head coach in program history, the 3rd at the Division I level, has taken this team and has been successful here this month, especially. Served in 4 years in the same position at Lewis University, as my good friend alluded to, guiding the Flyers to 2 seasons of 20-plus wins. What are your aspirations, Coach Smith, of this SIUE program, which is located, as people know, not far from St. Louis, and there is a whole bunch of talent running around here?
Yeah, definitely. You know, just making this a hoops town, you know, and I think we're getting closer and closer, obviously with some great success on our men's side as well. But just getting into that rebuilding phase of, you know, you get into year 2 and 3, and then you really start to, you know, build something special. So we're excited for our future and excited for this immediate future going into January and February. You know, but Bryce mentioned, you know, my college coach, Doug Bruno. You come across these people in your life, and Bryce is one of them, that just truly make an impact on you, you know. And so this little time that I've known Bryce so far and the impact he even made on our student athletes, our women, was really something cool. So
your older brother, Ryan Quigley, played in the Padres organization, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did for a little bit and then played for independent league baseball team in Joliet, Illinois. And then oldest sister currently plays in the WNBA.
So it's a sports family.
It is. We're children of family of educators and coaches. So grew up in the gyms and, you know, on the hardwood all the time.
Are your kids playing?
They are. We have 4 little ones. We have a 9-year-old, 7, 5, and 4. And so we've all started the youth basketball and soccer and all that. A lot of fun.
This is Sam Quigley Smith, the head coach at SIUE. Now, I know I talk a lot on this show about SLU. They are our broadcast partner, and we spent a lot of time with them. I call the games for Rebecca Tillett's team, which is up and coming here at St. Louis University, and we just had Travis Ford on last hour. We've talked for years about Mizzou, and Illinois gets a lot of pub. Something tells me SIUE is on the move here. This men's team is starting to make some noise. They won at SLU. That Brian Baroni's got something going there, doesn't he, Coach Smith?
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? You said it. I think better than anything. This Metro East area and the basketball and hoops that are coming alive in the First Community Arena over here. It's something really special. So we're excited for the future of both of our programs.
What do you think, Bryce? I mean, you're from the state of Illinois, from the eastern side of the state, but you know quite well what's happening around here. How do you view St. Louis basketball?
St. Louis basketball as a whole has always been very successful, and it's great to see SIUE basketball having success. That success on the men's side that was started in Division II by Marty Simmons And when SIUE men's basketball won at Eastern Illinois, the game I was commentating with Joe Pott, that became the most ever victories in the Division I era. And they achieved that over a man, Marty Simmons, who helped SIUE Edwardsville to so much success in Division II, going to the Elite Eight in 2006.
Isn't it fun to see everything come full circle for you? For all of us to be able to witness this is very, very special. And for you, Bryce, I always feel like you're always looking. I mean, you appreciate it. I know that, but you're always looking for the next thing. You're never resting on your laurels and saying, well, I've done it here. Now, why can't I work for a Major League Baseball team? Why can't I go become part of sports bigger and bigger and bigger? That's always been your MO, I feel like.
There's always going to be more companies who I can assist with speeches or helping them to make websites or social media accessible, or sports teams, or more women's basketball teams who will hopefully give me the opportunity to speak to them after Coach Sam shares the video, and maybe she'll share a portion of it with you to post on social media as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's the thing, Coach Smith, and just a couple minutes left with both of you, is that he just never stops. And in the best way possible, he is committed to making things great, not only for himself, but for others. The fact that he took the time to develop a beautiful lives and have people with disabilities be able to experience things that they otherwise could not, while he himself deals with a disability.
Yeah, just incredible. And just his connection now, trying to work to maybe get into some WNBA years, that advocacy for women's sports. It's, I think no secret, it's the 50th anniversary of Title IX, and now you've got someone like Bryce who's getting behind and championing women's basketball. So just really awesome.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. Bryce, what's next for you? What can we help you with here on KMOX and all of our St. Louis listeners?
I'm setting up more events for the Beautiful Lives Project throughout the country. I'm hoping to have some events in the St. Louis area soon. If people would like to set up an event, they could email me at bryce@beautifullives.org, BRYCE@beautifullives.org. If they would be grateful enough to donate, all of the funds goes to purchase accommodations for events, or to try and get me to as many events as possible so I can meet all the individuals with disabilities. They can watch some of our past events or donate if they chose to do so on our website, which is beautifullives.org.
Beautifullives.org. Get on there and help Bryce Weiler, as you have, KMOX listeners, for so long. And Sam, for you, I know what's next, and that's Thursday at 3:00 at Tennessee Tech. You got yourself a ball game coming to keep this streak going.
Yeah, we sure do. A couple away games, and we travel with our men. We have double headers with them as well, so that'll be a lot of fun. And we'll be back home soon, so a lot of local players on both teams. So immediate area, please come out and see this SIUE basketball teams here.
It's fun to see SIUE having success. They make this area better, that is for sure. And Sam Quigley-Smith, the head coach at SIUE, with us. Bryce Weiler, who has been with us for so long, continues to join us on KMOX from time to time. And Bryce, all the best to you, my friend. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, Tom, and thank you, Coach Sam, for allowing me to speak to your team.
Yeah, absolutely, Bryce.
Great to have you both on KMOX. That's Sam Quigley-Smith, Bryce Weiler right here. John Mozeliak is upcoming. Cardinals president of baseball operations is next on KMOX.
KMOX Enter Service Weekend, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
I don't know how to ask.
They know what sounds are funny.
Or what smells are funky.
That's right. No one knows their furnace like they do. So go ahead, ask.
Okay. Is your furnace funky?
If it is, then make but one call.
And Jerry Kelly will be there the very next day.
Call anytime, 8 to 8, 8 days a week.
And Jerry Kelly will fix your furnace or install a new one the very next day.
JerryKelly.com.
Hi, it's Scott and Andrea from Best Buy Flooring.
Scott, I'm making a New Year's resolution list, and number one on my list is new flooring.
That's perfect because we offer free financing for qualified purchasers in 2023.
Yes, and after holiday parties, everyone needs new flooring.
With carpet, luxury vinyl, ceramic tile, carpet tile, laminate, sheet vinyl, and hardwood, there's flooring for everyone.
2 locations, 7301 North Lindbergh in Hazelwood, Missouri, and 1851 West U.S. Highway 15, O'Fallon, Illinois. Open 7 days a week.
Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy. Best Buy Flooring.
What if everything you got came with a little bit of money? Spicy chicken ramen with a side of quarters, a full tank of gas, and a $5 bill, an entire pantry's worth of groceries, and a pocket full of cash. Well, then you'd be living life on the upside. The first platform that gives you real cash back in real life wherever you roll. Restaurants, grocery stores, gas stations, all cashback opportunities. So order the expensive appetizer, buy a little extra at the store. Fill your gas tank till the pump stops. Because with Upside, you can. Start earning cash back just for doing you. Download the free Upside app and use promo code SPICY for an extra $10 cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's promo code SPICY. Promo code SPICY. SPICY for an extra $10 on the free Upside app. Start living life on the upside with the free Upside app.
Now, the John Mozeliak Conversation on KMOX. Sponsored by your Gateway Acura dealers, Munganess St. Louis Acura, and Frank Lita Acura on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Welcome back to KMOX. We are joined by Cardinals President of Baseball Operations, John Mozeliak. I will throw in a little news item that just came across during the break. ESPN's Adam Schefter saying that an MRI has confirmed a high ankle sprain for Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs quarterback. High ankle sprain for him, suffered yesterday against the Jaguars. Great to have you on KMOX as always, John. Good morning.
Good morning, Tommy.
I had a guest last segment, my good friend Bryce Weiler, who was born blind. He has been involved in sports that has never stopped him. He's given motivational speeches to teams. He has broadcast games as a commentator. He's a great storyteller, and I wanted to pass that along. We've had him on the show a lot, and I know that you have been close with the Foundation Fighting Blindness for quite a while, so I know that would warm your heart a little bit this morning.
Yeah, that's really nice to hear. Thanks for sharing. And yeah, Jason Morris and I, we've been working together, for probably close 14, 15 years on that. And he just does tremendous work in supporting that foundation and, really becoming a key member of that leadership team. So, grateful for my friendship with him and everything we've been able to accomplish over those years.
Yeah, the more that we can do, the better. No doubt about it, in St. Louis and beyond. And we witnessed, didn't we, last week, how big Cardinal Nation is. I mean, everybody's back in now. You got, not that they ever left, but now you get to see them. The Cardinals caravan, the Cardinals winter warm-up. I felt like the players were even reunited with the fact that these fans come from far and wide to join them, especially Wilson Contreras. I think he really, I walk away with a couple of things. One of them is that Wilson Contreras had a good time, I think.
Well, I think that's right. I was sitting there prior to the writers' dinner catching up with a couple of our players that were in attendance for that. And, just their appreciation for the weekend, for how fans treat them, I think was something that they were almost taken back from. And obviously a couple of people I was talking with, this was their first time at the event. And, I really think it was something that they enjoyed, almost felt like it was slightly inspiring for them. So, overall, I think it was just really a positive experience for, I hope, our fans and, of course, our players.
Yeah, I think so. And I really enjoyed visiting with the players. I was on the Newt Bar Caravan with all those guys, and they really enjoyed it, and the fans embraced him, no doubt. I know Saturday, while we were out of town, was your day. How did that go? You told us a couple weeks ago you were going to give us a review of that. So it was a three-pronged day for John Mozeliak. Media, Q&A with the fans, and an autograph session. How was it?
I think you're probably really asking about the Q&A with the fans. And unfortunately, I think some of the audio was a little bit more difficult to handle than in terms of maybe what we've seen in the past. So that's something we've definitely got to work on. But I think anytime you have fan engagement and give them an opportunity to ask what they're thinking about, what they're feeling about, it's first off, it's fair. And secondly, it's something that, I definitely welcome. And I think for the most part, we were able to touch on a lot of things. And as you've sat through a few of those over the years, and they tend to be, more fan friendly but every now and then you get that curveball. But this past weekend, it was pretty favorable. And again, just it's nice to be able to have that interaction and allow fans the opportunity to, ask you what they're thinking about.
Sure. And, the standards are high around here. They want this team to win every year. They want them to be in the World Series every year, as do you. I mean, you want this team to be successful. I think that they want answers. At the same time, I think it gives you an opportunity to be able to talk to them and explain where the organization is going. I had a lot of people ask me about, payroll and resources myself. And this is how I explain it. You tell me if I'm accurate here. I said, look, the Cardinals came out and they said, we're going to raise payroll. We have resources that we can spend. They went out, they got Wilson Contreras, and the market got crazy. It got big. There were huge deals being thrown around. And I think the Cardinals took time to look at that and said, that's not us. We're going to hold off here for a second. And while we're exploring, we're also going to make sure that we're not getting crazy here while other teams are. I mean, is that fair to say?
Not really. And,
Okay.
and I don't want to take you to task, but
Yeah.
what it really came down to is when you start to look at some of the places you could perhaps improve your club or invest in something, it really meant then you were either not giving someone else an opportunity or you felt like when I look at our club right now, I think about our team sort of in a three-pronged view. One is, for me, I feel it's about opportunity. So could we have gone out and signed a corner outfielder and basically told Dylan Carlson and Tyler O'Neill or Newt Barr, hey, you guys fight it out for the other two spots? Yes, we could have, but we still have a lot of belief that these guys are capable of doing it. And also we have, Jordan Walker coming. So that would be an example of why we just didn't do that. And so when I say three words, it really is about, creating opportunity for our players. And, I think players that play for the St. Louis Cardinals appreciate that they get that. The other part is belief in our players. And we believe in these guys that they're going to be better than what you saw. And the others trust. We trust what they've been doing this offseason. We trust how they've been preparing. And so when you couple that, it didn't seem to make a lot of sense just to go out and say, oh, we've invested in something to say payroll's going up. Payroll is up. But overall, could it have gone higher? Yes. But in the end, it came down to what we had.
Yeah, I think that's a fair explanation. That is how the Cardinals have operated for a number of years. And there are some really exciting young people that are going to get opportunities. I want to start with Jordan Walker, who is a delightful young man. I mean, he is really something when it comes to wise beyond his years. And I would pair Gordon Graceffo with him on that. I mean, I'm not talking about expectations for both of them, just as people. That is part of the scouting process, isn't it, of the Cardinals organization? You're finding talent, but you're also finding people who can handle what is a long grind of a season and career, aren't you?
Yeah, I would imagine when you really take a step back and you think about like talented major league players, they tend to be of high character. Getting to spend a little time with Mr. Walker and Mr. Graceffo this past weekend, they're just easy to talk to. You can tell they do have an intellectual backbone. They also have confidence. They believe in themselves. And I think having that self-confidence is something that you have to have as you're coming up and trying to have a successful career at the major league level. So, that was actually great to see, firsthand and to feel that. But I will say, all those guys, whether it's Tank Hance, Mason Wynn, it's a really special group of guys we have coming. And so as you sort of think of the future of the Cardinals, when you have, currently great players like a Nolan Arenado and a Paul Goldschmidt, and then you have these potential emerging stars where it's like the Tommy Edmonds of the world, the Dylan Carlsons, Newt Barr, et cetera. Donovan. I mean, like, you can go on and on. I mean, that's why we're excited about our club. But then, to see what you have coming in the minor leagues is something where you understand that this is just not a short view answer. It's really about what we're going to look like in 2024, 2025, and 2026. And, that's exciting. And I know, like, the naysayers will point out we have no pitching sign for next year, and we understand that, but plenty of time to work on it, and hopefully we can resolve that.
Yeah, I totally get the outfield with Walker, and then the three guys, O'Neill, Carlson, Newt Barr, not to mention you got some others that can play in the outfield. I will ask you about pitching. Here's the other thing I walked away from, having talked to Jack Flaherty on the mic and off the microphone. I think something big is coming here. Now, again, it's all about health and how he looks, and you got to ramp up the throwing program, which he has, and you got to see him in spring training and then eventually on a mound in games. But just a gut feeling here. It's a big moment in Jack Flaherty's career and life, and I think he's got something to prove here. We'll see.
Yeah, I think that's right. When you do think about gut feel, I think that's important. But going back to what I said earlier about trust, and this past off season, he's had probably the first normal off season since really 2018 going into 2019, and so that's why we have a lot of confidence in what Jack Flaherty is going to do this year. You're right, things happen. No matter all good feel good stories can have bad endings at times, but here's someone that we have a lot of belief in and a lot of trust in, and I think he and the organization are super excited to get this going and to see what he's capable of doing with a full season of health.
How is Matt's in this offseason? I know we talked about him a couple weeks ago. Is things feeling good about his recovery?
Yeah, really are. Quite bullish on where he's at. I know he's excited. He's had a very intentional off season for what he was doing. And I think here's another person that really wants to show Cardinal Nation why he was signed. So he's motivated. I think he's coming in very much prepared. And so I think we're all very excited to see what he can do.
And then you got Waino, Miles, and Montgomery. And as we've talked about, some depth behind that. And, you did go out at the trade deadline and landed two big pitchers, Montgomery, one of those, to get you back on track. Not to say that couldn't happen again if you had to. Do you view, here's the other thing that I said, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think the Cardinals view the season in sections. I think you have now till opening day, then you have opening day till July 4th, then you have that rush towards the deadline, and then advancement into the pennant race in October. The point being that on opening day, that roster is going to look different than it will in October, won't it?
Typically, yes. I mean, sure, the way I always think about it is it's almost always just perpetual. There's always opportunities to try to do something to help your club. But, even taking a step back in terms of like what you look like on opening day, to me, that isn't all that important. I mean, obviously you got guys competing for spots and to individuals making a opening day roster means a lot, but sometimes you have guys that have hiccups along the way in camp. They end up on the IL. I mean, there's all sorts of stories, but the point is you ultimately want to have a roster that even if you're not where it's like, quote, perfect, you still can be very, very competitive. And then when people get off the IL or come back from injury, that you're injecting them in to help your club better. And then you also find times where you don't have an internal answer. So then you have to look outside. And that window can be a very small window in spring training, or it could be a time to add help, as you get closer to the trading deadline. So, for us, it's always just sort of managing what you have and trying to make sure that club you're putting out there, those 26 men, give you a chance to win.
Well, I learned a lot about this team over that 3 or 4 day stretch for sure. Just talking to people and understanding them as people. Tank Hentz is a guy who seems like he has no fear whatsoever. I mean, I look forward to seeing what he can do. And then, Connor Thomas, I thought was a very thoughtful guy. He learned that cutter. Maddox suggested it. Izzy kind of helped him perfect it going in against those righties, a lefty who needs to get contact, but also have a pitch to face righties. A lot of neat stories in there about pitchers and players that are going to emerge. Is there anybody that you think maybe should be getting a little, you're always good at this, a little more attention? Last year when I asked you this, you told me Donovan. That turned out to be very, very true. Is there somebody that maybe doesn't get enough pub that we should keep an eye on here in the spring?
I mean, I think like the when you think about like sort of like what could be very interesting stories as we embark on spring training and watch those 6 weeks, two names that jump out to me really are Livator. Like, where is he going to be at? Obviously, he's gotten a taste of some big league time, but he hasn't been able to sustain it. You remind yourself he's still young, but at some point you've got to put that into action. And then you touched on Thomas, because I think here's a guy that did not have the year that he had hoped. If you go back to last spring, I know it was very rushed with the labor situation, but that was a young man that I think had expectations of maybe even making our club or at some point getting a chance. And his AAA season just did not go as planned. Then, of course, he had a lot of success in the fall league. And really what you're hoping now is can he take that into 2023? So I think those are sort of interesting storylines. And of course, as you watch our club, we sort of didn't touch on any of these names like the Nolan Gormans, Yepez's, Burlesons of the world.
Oh, yeah.
I do think that group's going to be fun to watch in this camp. They're going to get a lot of opportunity to play because a lot of our regulars are going to be in the WBC. And so just watching, what they're capable of doing or how they emerge with this opportunity, especially, getting a taste of the big leagues, but now what do they do with it after they've had that taste? And so, expectations are high. And I think it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun trio right there. I mean, Yepez, it's a bomb in the playoffs. It's going to get interesting. I appreciate all this. Great conversation. Thank you very much. And we'll catch up real soon.
That sounds good. Thanks, Tommy.
Thank you. There's the Cardinals president of baseball operations, John Mozeliak, with us right here on the home of the Cardinals, KMOX, from the Stifel Sports Studio, back with a little spring training vacation idea for you next.
What really matters to you? At Archwell Health, that's what matters to us. When Linda told her doctor about the trip her family planned for her 70th birthday, our team worked together to improve her mobility. Then there's Shirley, who wanted to lose a little weight. She and her doctor chose an Archwell Health exercise class, and her dietitian also had a few ideas. We're here to help you live your life to the fullest, because you are more than a patient. Join today at archwellhealth.com/livewell.
Struggling to find common ground with a business? Everyone knows how difficult it can be to solve marketplace problems on your own. Wouldn't it be amazing if there was a way to resolve your dispute in days or weeks, not months or years? And wouldn't it be nice if this service was provided at no cost? Use Better Business Bureau Dispute Resolution. BBB works as a mediator to help you find a win-win. When you have a problem without a solution, choose BBB for dispute resolution.
If your business has 5 or more employees and managed to survive COVID, you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of up to $26,000 per employee. I'm Amy Markscores for Innovation Refunds. Now, this isn't a loan. There's no payback. It's a refund of your taxes. And if you're wondering, how do I get through the red tape and get my business the refund money? Go to getrefunds.com. The team of tax attorneys they've put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program and have already returned $1 billion to businesses, and they can help you too. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those who took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had an increase in sales. To find out if your business qualifies, just go to getrefunds.com, click on the Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. Don't miss out. Go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
Thanks for calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK. This is Sarah. How can I help?
I want to meet your tailor and your hairdresser. The people cruising around in your trucks look like catalog models.
You could be wearing one of those uniforms and riding around in one of those trucks.
You'll be a technician and a magician.
That sounds awesome.
It is awesome. Your job will be to make junk disappear whenever someone points at it.
You'll teach me?
We'll teach you.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Hi, I'm Uzo Aduba. If you're a cancer patient in the U.S. and its territories or Canada, you may be able to help uncover the next breakthrough by sharing your patient data and unique experience with researchers around the world.
My unique experience can make the difference of life and death to people in my community.
It is in our stories and data that the answers can be found.
I am proud to be a part of that group.
Join Stand Up to Cancer, Count Me In, and thousands of patients in this movement at standuptocancer.org/countmein.
Track your blood donations right from the palm of your hand and stay updated on special promotions. Download the American Red Cross Blood Donor app today. To learn more, go to redcross.org.
It's on. Got her.
Big fly. Nolan Arenado.
Driving jam time. And the Billikens win this one. Touchdown, Kansas City.
Welcome back to Sports on a Sunday morning on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
From the Stifel Sports Studio, I'm Tom Ackerman. Great conversation with John Mozeliak. I think it was great. I mean, that's exactly what you want. I mean, you want to talk about the future of this organization and the president of this organization and where they are and how they feel about this roster and what they're trying to do and explaining how they operate during the offseason. You know, he really takes you inside, whether you agree with him or not. I mean, I thought a nice job by him. So I really appreciate that. Sports on a Sunday morning continues. Lisa Goulart, she is going to explain something that everybody likes. I don't know that anybody dislikes spring training. I mean, that is just, especially with the weather that is right now. Jupiter, Florida is where we want to be. Lisa, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing great. You're the vice president of Cardinals Vacations, which has to be one of the best jobs in the world. I mean, can you think of anything better than that? That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm very blessed. I got to tell you, it's so fun to have all the interaction with the fans and to really fulfill some dreams that people are looking to do. So it's a great fun job. And spring training is going to be amazing this season. After 3 interrupted seasons, everything's back on track and fans are excited.
Well, spring training, of course, isn't all you do. You have big vacations coming in London and Boston. So I'll mention that at the end, but let's focus on the immediate future, and that is spring training. Now, people may assume here on January 22nd that everything's booked and they can't go. Let's think again. The countdown is coming here. You're talking February 13th for pitchers and catchers. Now, you do have limited space still available for fans to come down to Jupiter, don't you?
We do. We're cutting sales off in about a week and a half, but there's still some space, and we're welcoming anyone that wants to come for the first time, or if they've been in the past. There's nothing quite like spring training and seeing the Cardinals play in such a small little ballpark that's intimate, where you're right on top of the action. You hear the guys talking. It's quite an extraordinary experience for anyone that's never done it before.
So Cardinals Vacations going down to beautiful Jupiter, Florida and Palm Beach County. These Grand Slam packages include hotel accommodations, game tickets, of course, a spring training shirt. But I'm interested in this dinner at the ballpark. Now, I've been down there where I see everybody up having dinner with Cardinals players, alumni, and team personnel. And you've had some big names up there. You've had Rick Ankiel do these, our broadcaster, Ricky Horton. You've had some great personalities like Brebbia when he was on the club, and Colton Wong. Kyle McClellan, our great buddy, has done some of these at the dinner. That's fun. How do those work?
So if you buy the Cardinals Grand Slam package, the dinner with the players and the personnel comes with the package. It's an exclusive opportunity. We keep it limited to a small group, and you're out of the ballpark following the game. You have this amazing dinner and the interaction with the guys, and Ricky often hosts this event, and it's just a really cool atmosphere to get some behind the scenes things on what's happening with the club and how, the team's performing and what the goals are for the regular season. There's nothing quite like it. And it's easy, and it's one of the highlights for people that come down and buy the Cardinals vacation package.
That's awesome. So cardinals.com/vacations to learn more about it. Cardinals.com/vacations. It is beautiful. Let's check the temperature right now in Jupiter, Florida, just for fun. Can we do that just for fun? Let's see. Jupiter right now. So St. Louis right now, we are gray and 33. That's what I've got. As for yeah, I know. As for Jupiter, Florida, which, by the way, my good buddy Joe Pfeiffer's got the fantasy camp wrapping up down there. 81.
Absolutely.
Partly cloudy.
Oh, my
80.
gosh.
I know. Those guys.
Well, it's these packages can be fine-tuned to fit everybody's schedule and budget. There's no time like now to get on the website at cardinals.com/vacations and book your package, or for those fans that prefer, they can give us a call and we can help them over the phone. But the clock's ticking. So if they're going to decide to do this, now's kind of the time to make the call.
That number is 800-892-7687. Isn't that right?
That's correct. Absolutely.
800-892-7687. 1 minute to go. But Lisa, let me ask you, because I mentioned it, London, that's coming up in June, and also Boston, that's before that in May. You have vacations for both of those?
We do. So the London series is part of MLB's international program. And this was, of course, supposed to take place in 2020, but pandemic, caused the delay. So we're back on track for the end of June, Cardinals versus Cubs in London, England, 2 games. It's kind of over the top. And these games obviously count. They're regularly scheduled games, but really something for fans that want to maybe, travel abroad. Everything's taken care of for them when they book their package. So it's going to be quite an experience for everyone. And then a little before that, we've got the Cardinals fan bucket list trip of the year, which is to take on the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park, May 11th to the 15th. This package includes great accommodations. Everybody's going to have an event out at the Kennedy Library. There's a ton of things for everyone to do in Boston, and we've got space to accommodate about 100 guests. So,
awesome.
It's going to be amazing.
Cardinals.com/vacations. Thanks to Lisa Goulart.
Thanks so much.
Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jules on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jules on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jules on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. So if you need some extra cash, looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, make Jules on Hampton your first stop. Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills.
We're talking to Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center about why you, Dr. Bosler, love your field, audiology.
What I hate is when people come and tell me that they avoid going to a dining hall at their place of residence because they don't want to have trouble hearing or ask people what. But what I love is when a patient tells me this, and then after wearing a pair of our hearing aids for a few weeks, they tell me that they no longer avoid those difficult settings. Helen Keller said it best, and I always say this, but blindness disconnects you from things, but hearing loss disconnects you from people. So at the Audiology Center, we try to care about you, and we want to reconnect you to your loved ones.
Well, thank you very much, Doctor. She's Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. Make an appointment today, 636-441-7470 or online, audiologycenterstl.com. Hi,
I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick Hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. Hypnosis is designed to destroy unwanted cravings. That's right, seminars, Wednesday, February 1st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, St. Louis Airport in St. Louis, and Thursday, February 2nd at the 4 Points by Sheraton St. Louis, Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminar.com.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington. A mass shooting in Monterey, California. Here's CBS's Steve Futterman.
Police here are looking for a male of Asian descent between the